Hi everybody, Tracy Mason here with a quick tutorial on how I make those paper roses. If you'd like to see more samples, please visit my blog at tmasonstudio.blogspot.com.
And really, these are so easy to make. What you have to keep in mind is you need to have a perfect square of cardstock. It could be pattern paper or regular solid. And this particular piece here is 5 by 5. I've never really made a rose under 2 by 2. It's just kind of hard to work with because as you get quilling or just producing them, you're going to see that they shrink tremendously. So going that small might be quite the challenge. So this here is a 5 by 5, like I said, and how you're going to do this is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut in a spiral fashion till you get to the center. And just so you understand what I'm saying, here is something that I hand drew with a marker, and you don't have to hand draw it first. You could just cut it. There's no perfecting that spiral. It would never matter anyway. So I'm going to remove that. And I always start at the corner. Now you could cut these in a wavy motion or use some decorative scissors. That would be fun too. It would just really add to your rose. I've made roses as large as 12 by 12. They turn out really neat. Now, my tip for you when you get to the center is not to go all the way, but leave about a thumb size, because that's where the rose is going to rest. This is the bottom once we get going here, and you'll have that space to adhere everything to. So go ahead and leave that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these corners because they're no fun. So here's my scrap, and I'll just get rid of that. So you can see we have this really cool spiral. Okay. Now I like to give my roses some texture. You don't have to distress these edges like I'm doing. These are going to be the outside edges of the rose, so that's not why it's why I'm not doing the entire piece, and just the outside. And if you rip it a little bit, it's okay too. It just adds to the reality of what happens to roses. So, and really once you get to quilling them, you might not see the tear anyway, so don't worry about it too much. And I'm going to go as far as I can here. I'm not going to do the exact center because that is going to be the very bottom anyway, and it's nothing that you're going to see. Okay, so I've got that distress. Another fun thing that I like to do is I like to add a little bit of ink to my sponges, and I like to lightly sponge the edges. And again, you don't have to do the inside because that is the part that's going to be tucked in, and it would just be a waste of time. The sponge I'm using is a texture tool from Close to My Heart. And I love it because it has this wooden handle on it, so my fingers don't get all inked up. And I usually have one just for browns, and then I have one for black, so I don't muddy those colors together. Okay, so I've distressed all the edges here, and now we're going to quill it, or twirl it. And I use a pair of scissors. And you're going to grab this pointed end, and you're going to twirl around the tweezers just few times there to get it started. Okay, then I usually pull those tweezers off. Now while you're holding that, what I like to do is I like to grab my glue dots and I add a piece right here. Because if you start gluing as you're turning, it holds it in place. And I've actually let go of it a few times and I had to start all over. And this way you don't have to worry about it. Now the tighter you roll it, the smaller your rose is going to be. And I think I'm going to loosen this one up a little bit, so I'm not going to go as tight. I know they say never put those glue dots on your finger, but really, is there any other way to do it right now? You're going to just continue wrapping and rolling and gluing. Okay, now we're coming down to the end. And what I like to do is put a couple of those glue dots. Sorry, I'm going off camera. Put a couple of those glue dots on that center piece. And then push that down into the middle of the rose. So you'll see I'm using my forefinger and my thumb and I'm just pushing down. Now that's not going to hold it. It'll hold it long enough for you to get out your liquid glass, which is another close to my heart product. And you can see this is well loved. This is a wonderful dimensional adhesive as well as an embellishment, and it creates a glass-like finish, but it works so wonderfully for these roses. It holds them together. Put a squirt in the center, and then I like to go in the little crevices and just give it a little bit all the way around. Doesn't take that long to dry. And there it is. And what I also like to do is I like to take our new opaques and put one in the center. These are a lot of fun. You can use pearls and buttons and ribbons and things. But I really love these opaques. They've kind of become my little signature for the roses I've been making. So you're going to give that just a little bit to dry. And there you have it, a paper rose. Use plenty of adhesive on the bottom when you adhere it down to your project, and it should stay forever.